Okay, so I'm here to talk about the Vampire Diaries. I'm gonna be talking about the seasons. I got season 1, and then I got season 2, and I'm gonna talk about season 3. I'm gonna be doing sort of an overview of what I think about the seasons, and then I'm going to make future videos on the characters, then the relationships between the characters, and overall what I think about the show as a whole. Okay, so let's start off with season 1. Now, when the Vampire Diaries first came out, I was very hesitant to get into it. I was like, because at the same time, you had True Blood, you had Twilight, it was just all the teen supernatural crap was just coming back with a vengeance because of Twilight. Let's... I know there were talks about doing the show before Twilight and all that, but I mean, it honestly, at the time it came out, come on. You know, I mean, look at Stefan and look at Edward. I mean, come on. But I was like, okay, I can't just judge the show on that. I have to give it a chance. Now, as I said in my Teen Wolf videos, when I first started watching The Vampire Diaries, the first 3 episodes, I didn't think they were all that great. I mean, they had their merit. They did. Honestly, Damon kept me watching. I mean, like, opening scene of the pilot with Damon, when he kills those 2 motorists that are just, like, driving down the road, those 2 idiots who drive in the fog, and it was just so awesome. It grabbed me. It pulled me in. I was like, wow, okay, I gotta watch this. But then all the teenagey stuff began. You had Elena, you had Bonnie, you had Caroline, you had Stefan. I was like, come on. And then episode 1 ended, and Damon was in town, and, you know, he was killing people. And then, you know, the opening of episode 2, Night of the Comet, again, Damon kills those 2 campers. I was like, yes! Like, Damon honestly is the thing that compelled me to keep watching. And then Friday Night Bites, when he just kills the coach. I mean, like, Stefan trying out for the football team, I was like, are you serious, dude? You're a 100-and-something-year-old vampire, and all that. I just mean, like, I don't know. Like, I had looked up the synopsis of the show, like, before I started watching it, so I knew by then that they were 2 vampires that were from 1864 or whatever. I knew about Catherine and all that. I didn't know as much as there was to know. I just read, like, the quick overview online. So I was like, really, dude? You're from 1864, you're trying for the football? Like, what is the point? Like, whatever. He wants to live a normal high school life, although he's 100-and-something. Like, I don't know how you even maintain that mentality of wanting to be a normal teenager after you've been living for like 160 years. I mean, how? How do you, whatever. And then the episode Family Ties. I really enjoyed this episode, the one with the Founders Day party, you know, where, you know, because, like, this is where stuff really started to go down, you know, I mean, like, Stefan captures Damon. Elena finds out that Damon's an asshole and all that, you know, because of Caroline's all marked up. And, like, the show had its merit. And episode 4 is the episode where, like, stuff went down, and I was like, okay, this episode's good. What's gonna happen next? And my favorite episode of this whole season is episode 5, You're Undead to Me, because this is the episode where everything just went down. Elena finds out about Stefan and Damon, that they're vampires, you know. Damon breaks out. He attacks Vicky and kills her friends. Bonnie, the episode of the car wash, she really comes into her magic. She lights the car on fire. I mean, like, this is the episode where everything just happens, you know. And that's my favorite episode of the season, because this is the episode that made me fall for the Vampire Diaries. This is the episode that was like, this is your show now. You found it. You found your show. And I was like, yes! And I just kept watching it. And episode 5 on, I fucking love this season, you know. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. It was a great season. The plot of this season. Now, I thought it was a pretty solid plot. I liked how it was a simple season 1 plot. How it wasn't so complicated, but there was some backstory and some intrigue, you know. Especially with the soap opera shit. I mean, like, you know, with the Alaric coming in, and, you know, he's there, he's the history teacher / vampire hunter because his wife was killed by a vampire, or turned, or so he thinks, or whatever. Turns out to be Damon, and then, you know, Isabel, and she turns out to be Elena's mother, and then Elena's uncle turns out to be her birth father. I mean, like, it was just such soap opera shit that just drew you in. I mean, you know, that definitely intrigued the living hell out of me. It pulled me in. I was so interested. I was interested in the tomb vampires, in Anna's story. I'll get into that once I get to the characters themselves, but Anna, she was interesting. I liked Anna. All that stuff. It was just good. It was a good, solid season. I liked the plot. I liked the road they went down with Bonnie and her magic and her psychicness, you know. Elena, I thought she was a great character. Stefan, you know, a young angel with a better haircut. But then, the same haircut, really. But then, the episodes Under Control and Miss Mystic Falls. Oh my god, I love these episodes. These are the episodes where Stefan just falls off the wagon in this season, and they are so good. And the episode Blood Brothers, oh my gosh. I loved these episodes, because it just goes to show you their backgrounds, what happened. And Damon's kind of an ass. I mean, like, you know, how Damon's like, oh, if Stefan wants to kill himself, just let him kill himself. And Elena's like, don't pretend like you don't care. And then, you know, when Elena's like, you don't have to be such an asshole to him. And then Damon's like, did he tell you what happened? And then, like, he tells her the story about how Stefan kind of forced Damon to turn, you know? Like, Damon was starving, and Stefan shoved that chick's neck into Damon's mouth, and then he fed on her, and he turned, you know? Stefan kind of forced the transition onto Damon. And Damon says it, he, like, tells her, but in such a way that it's like, oh, yeah, it's Stefan's fault. I'm sorry, Stefan may have turned Damon, but Stefan didn't make Damon kill people. Stefan didn't force Damon to rape anyone, to kill anyone, to torture anyone. Damon did that all himself, okay? You can't blame the monster that Damon has become on Stefan. You can't. You can say, oh, well, you know, if it wasn't for Stefan, but honestly, Stefan didn't force Damon to be the monster that he is today. That's all because of Damon. Damon made those choices. And that's why at the end of Blood Brothers, when Damon even says that to Stefan, when he's like, you know, you brew too much, and everything in the world is your fault. My actions, my choices, they're mine. I own them, okay? You don't get to feel my guilt. And you see that. You know, you see that Damon acknowledges that he's done horrible things, but that he doesn't care. And he has it within himself to care, but that does not justify doing more horrible things. And that's why I will get into Season 2. I got some stuff to say about that in Season 2. But overall, I love Damon in Season 1. I loved how he was like the bad guy, he was the antagonist, and he was. He was the one killing people. He was the one threatening people. He was the one making all the demands. He was the bad guy. You could say that John and Isabel came in, but they were like the last second kind of antagonists. Only, like, you know, but all in all, the real bad, like, they showed up the episode Isabel, which is episode, what the hell is that episode? Episode 21 of this season, okay? The real bad guy of this season was Damon, you know, which is why I was kind of confused in Season 2, and I'll get to why. So anyway, yes, good, solid season. I love the finale when Catherine shows up. That was fucking epic. And then when Elena kissed Damon, or we think that, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, oh! I'll get to what I think about Stelena, Delena, all the Anas, and all the Aramis, and all the Woods, and all that stuff later. But for now, Season 1, it was great, it was epic, I loved it. After Episode 5. Episode 5 on, loved it. Like, even now that the Season 3 is done with, I can go back and watch Season 1 from Episode 1 all the way to Episode 22, 23, and enjoy it wholeheartedly because it was just so awesome. Even episodes I didn't much like before, I can watch now and just love.